question 1. So we'll be trying to answer question 1 of November 2022. This is grade 11, grade 12. So if you are in grade 11, this question is relevant for you. You are in grade 12, it's also relevant for you. So this is level 1 questions, which we expect each and every learner who is doing mathematics in grade 11 and in grade 12 to be able to answer all these questions. You can tell that question 1 there, 1.1 is solved for x. 1.1.1, we have 3x minus 6 in brackets, then x plus 2 in brackets. 3x minus 6, close brackets, x plus 2 is equals to 0. So this one, because these two brackets are equated to 0, what you need to do, you just have to equate each and every bracket to 0, and then you begin to transpose. Simple. 2 marks. We are going to say 3x minus 6 is equals to 0, or x plus 2 is equals to 0. Then you just transpose 6 to the other side. You are going to remain with 3x is equals to positive 6. Then obviously you are going to divide everything by 2. By 3, I mean. You divide here by 3, you divide here by 3. Then x is now going to be 2. The other side, you just transpose 2 to the other side to be negative 2. So these are your two solutions. 2 marks to answer 1.1.1. Then we go to 1.1.2. 1.1.2. If you look at the question, it says that you must solve for x. 2x squared minus 6x plus 1 is equals to 0. In brackets, correct to 2 decimal places. With that statement to say correct to 2 decimal places, they are indirectly telling you that you should use quadratic equation. So you are going to use quadratic equation to solve this question. Not to forget that the value of a is equal to 2, the value of b is equal to negative 6, the value of c is equal to positive 1. And then we are going to say x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. All this divided by what? 2a. Is equal to the value of b. We said the value of b is equal to negative 6. Then we have a negative of the equation, then negative 6. Not to forget that. Plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared minus 4a. The value of a is 2. The value of c is 1. All this divided by what? 2a. The value of a is 2. Then x. You just use a calculator here. We are going to use a calculator. Say minus, in brackets, minus 6 plus. We cannot have plus or minus in the calculator. You're going to begin with plus or you begin with minus. The square root of minus b squared minus 4a. What is the value of a? 2. What is the value of c? Is 1. Over 2a. We say the value of a is 2. Then our answer is going to be x is equals to 2,82. X is equals to 2,82. Or x is equals to, and then without wasting time, you just edit this. You go and change positive to be negative. Just change positive to be negative because everything is the same. Then you find that your answer is 0.18. 0.18. 0.18. We've answered that question. 3 marks. Then we move to 1.1.3. It says that x squared minus 90 is greater than what? X. This one, I've already explained on my teaching to say that when we deal with inequalities, the first thing that you should do is to find the critical values. So you are allowed to change this greater than to be equal sign so that you don't get confused, so that you know what to do. So we are just going to say x squared minus 90 is equals to x. You can change this so that you find your critical values in the simplest way. So from here, you can tell that we are just going to transpose x to the other side. We are going to have x squared minus x is equals to minus 90. Minus 90 is equals to 0. We are solving for x. Obviously, when we have this, you know what to do. You just introduce 2 brackets. X are the factors of x squared. Factors of 90, that which when you add or subtract, they must give you 1, is 9 and 10. Looking at this sign here, the sign of C is negative. That tells us that inside the brackets we must have different signs, but the bigger number must take the sign of a middle term. Obviously, our 10 is going to be what? Negative. This is going to be positive. This is how we answer this question. Then from here, we're going to have x minus 10 is equals to 0, or x plus 9 is equals to 0. Then x is going to be positive 10, x is going to be negative 9. Don't forget, this is our CV, which is our critical values. This is our CV. We are saying our CV x is equals to 10, or x is equals to negative 9. And then when having the CV, you draw a number line. You just draw a number line. We know that here we are going to have negative 9. We are going to have 10 somewhere here. Not to forget, between negative 9 and 10, we have numbers. We have numbers here. And after 10, we also have numbers. We have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, up to infinity. Even below negative 9, we have numbers there. Negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, negative 13, going downward. So what you need to do now, you just have to represent the greater than, this greater than, in the number line. We use small circle because our values are not included. And you must be able to interpret this sign. We know that is greater than. It means that we are looking for a place where this quadratic is positive. So what you need to do, you just take your calculator. You use this, the simplified one. Use this, the simplified one. In the place of x, you're going to replace x by any number between negative 9 and positive 10. Any number between negative 9 and positive 10. Any number. It does not matter whether you use negative 7, somebody use 0, somebody use 8, somebody use 7. As long as the number that you are using here is between negative 9 and positive 10. So I'm going to use 0. I'm going to use 0. We replace x by 0. If you look at our equation, it's x squared. Instead of writing x squared, we're going to have 0 squared minus x. Instead of saying minus x, gonna have minus 0 plus, minus 90. My answer here is negative 90. So I don't care about the number, hence we are using different numbers. The only thing that we should look at is the sign, is negative 90. So we're going to concentrate on the sign, negative. We know that our equation here is negative. We just say this is negative. When you are done with the middle term or middle number, you check at the number below negative 9. So I'm going to use negative 10. Negative 10. Negative 10. Negative 10 is going to give me positive 20. Don't forget, we are not looking for this number. We are looking for the sign of the number. Hence, we are using different numbers. So positive, my equation here is positive. We move to the other side. I'm going to use 11. Any number greater than 10, I'm going to use 11. You can choose any. I'm going to use positive 11. My answer is also positive. I write positive. And with this, what are we looking at? We are looking for a place where our graph is positive. You can tell that our graph is positive from 10 going upward and from negative 9 going downward. This side we're talking about less than negative 9. This side we're talking about greater than 10. So you must answer that. You must write that. So our solution, because of space, I'm going to write our solution here. We're going to have x is less than negative 9 or x is greater than positive 10. That's how you're supposed to answer question 1.1.3. I believe you are following this. So if you don't understand what I'm doing now when we are answering question, please try to locate videos whereby I was teaching this thing. You'll be able to find solution. Let's move to the next question. 1.1.4. 1.1.4. We have x minus 7 root of x is equals to negative 12. So when you answer this one, you just have to isolate the root. That's the first thing. You isolate the root. What do I mean? I'm talking about these two. You isolate them. You just transpose this to the other side, to the right hand side of the equation. Then you also transpose negative 12 to join x. So it means that we are now going to have this. X plus 12 is equals to 7, the square root of x. We are going to have this kind of equation after isolating the root. Then from there, the next step is very much obvious. We are just going to introduce the square root, the square, I mean. We introduce square both sides. We introduce square both sides. So this side, we are going to have x plus 12, x plus 12. The other side, we're going to have 7 squared. 7 squared is 49. 49. And then the square root of x squared is going to be x. Then let's deal with these two brackets. When we deal with these two brackets, we know that we're going to have x squared plus 12x plus 12x, which give us 24x plus 24x. Then we have 12 multiplied by 12 is 144 plus 144 is equals to what? 49x is equals to 49x. Then from here, obviously we're going to transpose 49 to the other side, which will lead us to x squared plus 24x minus 49x plus 144 is equals to 0. The like terms, x squared, the like terms then, the like terms is 24 minus 49. 24 minus 49 is negative 25x minus 25x plus 144 is equals to 0. So this is our standard form. From this standard form, we are going to introduce the two brackets, x. Then we look at the factors of 49, that which when you add them or subtract them, they must give you 25. Is 16 and 9. 16 and 9. When you multiply 16 by 9, you will get 20, you'll get 144. But when you add 16 and 9, you'll get 25. Now you look at the sign. The sign here is positive. So because the sign here is positive, we know that we are going to have same sign in the brackets, and the signs must be the same as what? The middle term, meaning that we are going to have negative. Then x minus 9 is equals to 0, or x minus 16 is equals to 0. Our x is going to be 9, or x is going to be positive 16. We've answered 1.1.4 is 4 marks. Then we move to 1.2, the simplest one. I've also taught you this one to solve for x and y simultaneously. So we have 2x minus y is equals to 2. We also have x, y is equals to 4. I told you that the first step that you need to do here is to name them equation 1, equation 2. We're going to say equation 1, then we say equation 2. Then from here, when you look at this, you must observe and select the simplest equation to make x or y the subject of the formula. Then I told you that if your algebra is not strong, avoid making fractions when trying to make x or y the subject of the formula, please. So we are not going to make x or y the subject of the formula from equation number 2, because obviously here you're going to get fraction. Unless if you know what you're doing, you can make x or y the subject of the formula here. You can still get the same answer or the correct answer. But I want us to move to equation 1. We're going to say from equation 1, we are going to transpose 2x to the other side. We're going to remain with negative y. It's equals to 2 minus 2x. So from equation 1, we'll be able to make y the subject of the formula. Not to forget, we are not making minus y the subject of the formula. We must make y the subject of the formula. With that said, we must change this one to become positive. How do you do that? You multiply everything by -1, or you divide everything by -1. Your final result is going to be y is equals to -2 plus 2x. This one become your equation 3. Where do you get equation 3 from? From equation 1. So for that reason, when you substitute y by -2 plus 2x, we are not going to substitute in equation 1, because equation 1 and equation 3, they are the same thing. We must use the other equation, which is equation 2. So we are going to say substitute equation 3 into equation 2. So you go to equation 2. Wherever you see y, you are going to write -2 plus 2x. So if you look at equation 2, we are having x multiplied by y. So we are not going to write y, we are going to write minus 2 plus 2x is equals to 4. So in a place of y, we have written what? Minus 2 plus 2x. Then from here, obviously, we are just going to distribute this x to everything inside the bracket, whereby we're going to find this result of negative 2x plus 2x squared is equals to positive 4. Then from here, you just have to arrange this according to our standard form. We're going to have 2x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equals to 0. You transpose 4 to the other side. Then the next step here, you can divide everything by 2. When you divide everything by 2, we are going to have x squared minus x minus 2 is equals to 0. The next step, 2 brackets, x, 2, 1. Negative, we must have different sign inside the brackets. Not to forget that the bigger number must adopt the sign of a middle term, meaning that our 2 is going to be negative, 1 is going to be positive. Then x is now going to be negative 1, or x is going to be positive 2. Then the next step is to solve for y, because we have solved for x. These are the values of x. So for you to be able to solve for y, you just have to use equation 3, which is this one. You replace x by negative 1, you find the value of y. You also replace x by positive 2, you find the other value of y. So we are now going to say y is equals to minus 2 plus 2. Instead of writing x, gonna say plus in bracket negative 1. The other side, we are going to say y is equals to minus 2 plus 2 in brackets positive 2. So the value of y here is going to be 2 minus 2, which is equals to negative 4. Negative 4. The other side, the value of y is going to be minus 2 plus 4. Value of y there is going to be positive 2. This is how you should have answered this question, or how you answer these questions. 1.2. Please, as you are still watching, if you have watched up to this far, it means that you are getting help from this channel. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, to leave just a comment. Any comment is fine. And don't forget to subscribe, and also to share these videos with your friend, or to tell them to subscribe in this YouTube channel. So we are moving to the next question. The next question is question 1.3. Question 1.3, we are having 2 multiplied by 5 to the power n minus 5 to the power n plus 1 plus 5 to the power n plus 2. So it says that, show that 2 to the power 5n minus 5 to the power n plus 1 plus 5 to the power n plus 2 is even for all positive integers, values of n. So that is our next question. So this one is also very simple. It's grade 11 work. Like I said, this question paper is a grade 12 question paper, but question 1, it is common for grade 11 and grade 12 question paper. So the first thing that we're going to do, we are going to expand these exponents or the exponential law. So let's expand them. We know that we are going to have is equals to 2 multiplied by 5 to the power n minus. When we deal with this one, we know that obviously we had what? The same base with different exponents. So when we are having the same base, what do we do with the exponents? We add the exponents. So it's the same as 5 to the power n multiplied by 5 to the power 1 plus, same thing, 5 to the power n multiplied by 5 to the power 2. That's what we have. So now we are having 2 multiplied by 5 to the power n minus 5 to the power n multiplied by 5 to the power 1 plus 5 to the power n multiplied by 5 to the power 2. So if you look at this, we can tell that we are having a common factor, which is 5 to the power n. 5 to the power n, we have 5 to the power n in this part. We also have 5 to the power n here. We also have 5 to the power n there. So you take that as your common factor. So you're going to say 5 to the power n. When you take it out on the first part, we're going to remain with 2 minus 5 to the power 1 plus what? 5 to the power 2. We're going to remain with that. This is 5 to the power n, just on my handwriting. Then from here, you deal with what is inside the brackets using a calculator. To say that inside the brackets we are having 2 minus 5 plus 5 to the power 2. The answer is 22. The answer is 22. So this is how you're supposed to deal with that. You have solved it. And not to forget, any integer multiplied by an even number will be an even. So you can change this one to become what? 5 to the power n, 2, 11. So 2 multiplied by 11 is the same as what? As 22. Therefore, 2 can be 5 multiplied by n multiplied by 11. You can have something like this as your final solution. And don't forget, I said you can just write any integer multiplied by an even number will be an even number. Then the last one is 1.4. 1.4, if you look at 1.4 here, it says that determine the values of x and y simultaneous if 3 to the power y plus 1 over 32 is equals to the square root of 96 to the power x. So this is very much easy and it's interesting question. When you have this, the first thing that you are going to do here is to deal with the square root. Just change the square root to become 1 over 2. I believe we all know that the square root of x is the same as x to the power 1 over 2. We are going to apply this law, which will give us 3 to the power y plus 1 over, because we are dealing with the exponents here, let's also try to make 32 an exponent. 32 to be an exponent, we can say 2 to the power I think it's 5. Yeah, 2 to the power 5 is equal to 32. So let's change this 32 to become 2 to the power 5. 2 to the power 5 is equal to, like I said, we are going to change the square root to become exponents. So this is the same as 96 to the power x multiplied by what? 1 over 2. Multiplied by 1 over 2. We can further change that one to become 2 to the power 5 is equals to 96 to the power x over 2. We can change that one to become x over 2. So because now we are dealing with the exponents and we have base 2 and base 3, we are going to change 96 to be base 2 and base 3 so that we can have the same base. So let's try to find numbers 3 and 2 to the power something, but don't forget they must all give us what? 96. We don't have to have different bases because that will give us problem. So because we are already having base 2 and base 3, we are going to change 96 to have base 2 and base 3. So how do we do that? 3 to the power y plus 1 is equals to 2 to the power 5 is equals to, in brackets, x over 2. So 96, we can change 96 to be maybe 2 to the power 5. Let's take 2 to the power 5. 2 to the power 5 multiplied by 3 is 96. So we are going to change 96 to be 2 to the power 5 multiplied by 3. So we are now going to have 2 to the power 5 multiplied by 3. Don't forget exponents. When we deal with exponents, we know that exponents outside the brackets, it affects everything that is inside the brackets. So it means that this exponent is for everything that is inside the brackets. So now we are going to distribute this exponent to all the bases inside the brackets. 3 to the power y plus 1 over 5 to the power 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 5 is equals to 2 to the power 5x over 2 multiplied by 3 to the power x over 2. So we have distributed this exponent to all the bases that were inside the brackets. We have that result. So once you reach this stage, so what you need to do now, you are going to equate all the exponents of base 2 together and all the exponents of base 3 together. Then you begin to solve for x and y. So let's begin with the exponents of base 2. If you look at the exponents of base 2, or before we do that, we can change this one to make it a linear. We can change this fraction to become a linear. We know that we are going to have 3 to the power y plus 1 multiplied by 5, multiplied by 2. I'm not sure why I'm making mistake with this. I'm always making mistake from here. Multiplied by 2 to the power negative 5. We all know that whenever we take something from the denominator to numerator, we change the sign. Instead of having to the power positive 5, we have to the power negative 5. Is equals to 2 to the power what? 5x over 2 multiplied by 3 to the power x over 2. Because of space, good people, I want us to continue there. So because now we have everything in a linear format, we are going to equate the exponents of base 2 and the exponents of base 3. So let's begin with the base 2 exponents. Exponents of base 2, the other side we're having what? Negative 5. We're going to say negative 5 is equals to the exponent of base 2, the other side is 5x over 2. 5x over 2. Let's solve for x then. We make everything a what? A fraction. When you make everything a fraction, you begin to cross multiplication. We are going to have 5x is equals to negative 10. Then our x here is going to be negative 2. We divide everything by 5 to find negative 2. We have solved for x. Let's solve for y. If you look at y, it's found in base 3. So we're also going to equate the exponents of base 3, which will give us what? Y plus 1 is equals to x over 2. Let's begin to solve for y. We just transpose 1 to the other side, which will give us y is equals to x over 2 minus 1. Don't forget, we have solved for x. What is the value of x? Is negative 2. We can replace this x by that negative 2 to have negative 2 over 2 is minus 1, which is equals to, use a calculator if you are not sure. It's very much important to always depend on the calculator to avoid making silly mistakes. Negative 2 over 2 minus 1. The answer is negative 2. The answer is negative 2. These are the solutions of x and y, question 1.4. We are done solving these equations. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to like the video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Stay blessed.